How America Became Unburdened by What Has Been. This is by Andrew Coribico via Substack. Trump just beat Kamala despite the formidable odds that were against him. He survived 2 assassination attempts, withstood the government's lawfare, and is on track to secure the popular vote, even though the legacy media was fully in support of his opponent. Speaking of her, she's infamous for repeating her phrase about America becoming unburdened by what has been, which means moving past the Trump era. Ironically, the country just moved past her, and here's how it happened. Number 1, it's the economy is stupid. Democrat consultant James Carville famously coined the above-mentioned phrase in reference to the most important electoral issue for most Americans. It still rings true to this day, since the majority of the country is worse off after 4 years of the Biden-Harris administration than it was after Trump's first term. It does not matter what the reasons for that are, since such developments strongly work against incumbents. Americans accordingly voted to bring back the golden economy that Trump ushered in. Number 2, immigration, both legal and illegal, is out of control. Immigration is always a hot-button issue, but it was even more so during this election due to the unprecedented influx of illegal immigrants that invaded the country under Biden, and viral reports of legal Haitian immigrants brought in by the government into Ohio. Trump pledged to crack down on the illegal component and more properly vet those who come into the country via legal channels to ensure that they'll assimilate and integrate. And this approach is widely popular with Americans. Number 3, folks are afraid of World War III. Americans have never been as afraid of World War III as they are now. The NATO-Russian proxy war in Ukraine and the back-and-forth Israeli-Iranian strikes, each of which have the potential to spiral into the apocalypse in the worst-case scenario, were unthinkable under Trump. He promised to do his utmost to bring peace to Europe and the Middle East if he's re-elected, while Kamala promised more of the same policies that brought the world to the brink of war. A vote for Trump, therefore, became a vote for peace. Number 4, the media smears against Trump no longer work. The past 8.5 years of the legacy media smears against Trump no longer have the effect that they used to in manipulating voters' perceptions of him, and have even become counterproductive. The more that they accuse Trump of being a Nazi or whatever else, the less that people care. Their celebrity surrogates are just as bad, and some, like Mark Cuban, dealt with powerful blows to their cause by viciously attacking Trump's female supporters in what can be seen as this year's October surprise. Number 5, Musk restored freedom of speech online. The preceding points are all important, but they would not have led to Trump's victory had Elon Musk not restored freedom of speech online by buying Twitter. Americans were then able to share news about the election without fear of censorship, which showed them that they were not alone in questioning the Biden administration and legacy media's false claims. Those two were also debunked in real time. Had it not been for Musk, then their lives would have proliferated unchallenged, likely reshaping the election. Number 6, Musk, RFK, and Tulsi made it cool to defect from the Democrats. Musk, RFK Jr., and Tulsi Gabbard are former Democrats who defected from the party in protest of what it become, namely a radical, liberal, globalist ideological movement that totally severed its perceived roots with the working class. They all eventually rallied behind Trump, which made it cool for other Democrats to defect from the party as well, and help win him some of the independent votes that took him over the edge in key swing states. He could not have won had it not been for this unity coalition. 7, the Amish and polls helped Trump pull ahead in Pennsylvania. The Keystone State became the key in Trump's victory this time around, and he has the Amish and polls to thank for that. Scott Presier, the one-time chairman of Gays for Trump, played an indispensable role in mobilizing the first, while the Postelbeck brothers, popular conservative commentator Jack and his brother Kevin, recruited their fellow co-ethnics from the second in their home state. The combination of these two, both groups and activists, guaranteed Trump's victory there. Number 8, the Republicans' Go TV campaign made all the difference. The Republicans were determined to make Trump's lead too big to rig after being convinced that he was defrauded out of his rightful second term during the last election. To that end, they embraced early voting and harvesting ballots as enthusiastically as their Democrat rivals did 4 years ago, knowing that literally every vote counts and not wanting to miss a single one. This made all the difference by preemptively averting speculative scenarios by which Trump could have been defrauded yet again. Number 9, abortion is no longer an issue in presidential elections. The Supreme Court's overturning of Roe v. Wade in mid-2022 made abortion a states' right issue, which took the wind out of its former sails as a federal one, and this made it much more difficult for the Democrats to turn women against Republican presidential candidates like before. Try as they did, they could not pull it off anymore, and this helped Trump come out ahead. The party relied on abortion for so long that they didn't know what to do now that it's no longer relevant at the presidential level. Number 10, Tim Walz was one of the worst VP picks imaginable. Kamala might have had a chance if she picked Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro as her running mate instead of Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, but the former is Jewish and has ties to the IDF, so she feared that she'd lose the Midwest Muslim vote if she chose him. That was a mistake, since Walz was one of the worst VP picks imaginable, and J.D. Vance made mincemeat out of him during their debate. Most Americans did not want Walz one heartbeat away from the presidency after that. Trump's political comeback story is one of the history books after the seemingly insurmountable odds that he had to overcome, and he did overcome. A mix of masterful campaigning, Musk's purchase of Twitter, and arguably a stroke of divine providence over the summer came together to make this possible. America is now truly unburdened by what has been, after decisively rejecting the past 4 years in full defiance of the Democrats. And it's now up to Trump to deliver on his ultimate promise to make America great again. And this is by Andrew Corey-Becko via Substack on Zero Hedge by Tyler Durden. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. Support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support, and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.